On Christmas Day 2025, as families gathered in homes across the archipelago, the Philippines made international headlines by unveiling a new official maritime map. The timing was no accident. On a day of unity and hope, the nation chose to make a statement that would resonate far beyond its shores. This map boldly renames the waters within its jurisdiction as the West Philippine Sea, a name that carries both pride and purpose. It's a powerful assertion, a way of reclaiming not just territory, but also national dignity. More than a simple name change, this act is a direct declaration of sovereign rights. It's a message to the world that the Philippines is ready to stand up for itself, to defend what is rightfully its own. For the first time in history, Filipinos have a government-sanctioned chart that clearly defines their maritime boundaries. This map is not just a document, it's a symbol of national resolve, a visual representation of the country's determination to protect its future. The message is clear and unmistakable. These are our waters, and these are our rights under international law. The map is a statement of intent, a promise to every Filipino that their government will defend their interests. The announcement, broadcast live from the historic halls of Malacañang Palace, was carefully timed for maximum global attention. The world was watching, and the Philippines made sure that its voice was heard. The president called it a map of truth, not an act of aggression, but of clarity and transparency. He emphasized that this was not about provoking conflict, but about asserting what is just and lawful. The map uses precise coordinates to delineate the Philippines' 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, as granted by the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Every line, every marker is backed by international agreements and legal precedent. It's now a cornerstone of Philippine foreign policy, a tool for diplomats negotiating at global forums, a guide for the Coast Guard patrolling the nation's vast waters, and a lesson for every student learning about their country's place in the world. The map is a living document, shaping the way Filipinos see themselves and their future. Unlike China's ambiguous 9-dash line, which has long been a source of confusion and tension, the Philippine map is a vision of order and transparency, grounded in international rules. It's a model for how disputes should be addressed, through clarity, not ambiguity. For Filipino fishermen, the map is a lifeline, telling them exactly where they can legally fish without fear of harassment. For energy companies, it's a green light to explore and invest in the nation's resources, confident in the knowledge that the law is on their side. It signals the Philippines' readiness to stand firm on the 2016 arbitral ruling that invalidated many of China's sweeping claims. The map is a reminder to the world that international law matters, and that the Philippines will not back down from defending its rights. News of the map's release flashed across the globe, sparking diplomatic analysis and debate in capitals from Washington to Beijing. The world's attention was fixed on Manila, as analysts and leaders weighed the implications of this bold move. For years, the Philippines felt like a small boat in a giant's wake, its fishermen harassed by foreign vessels, its coral reefs damaged by illegal activities. The sense of vulnerability was real, and the scars are still visible today. This map is an anchor, a declaration that the Philippines will no longer be passive or silent. It's a commitment to protect its people, its resources, and its environment from further harm. It's a brave assertion of identity and a claim to a future where law, not might, determines the fate of nations. The map is a call for justice, a plea for fairness, and a beacon of hope for all who believe in the rule of law. The quiet Christmas morning was shattered by the sound of a line being drawn, not in the sand, but on the sea. The world took notice, and the conversation about the future of the region changed in an instant. The Philippines had drawn its line, and with that single decisive act, it invited the world to recognize, respect, and remember where it stands. The South China Sea has always been a crossroads of trade, resources, and power. For centuries, these waters have connected distant civilizations, serving as a vital artery for commerce and cultural exchange. Today, more than a third of global shipping passes through these lanes, making the region not just a local concern, but a global one. The sea's strategic importance has only grown with time, drawing the attention of world powers and regional players alike. After World War II, as colonial empires receded, multiple nations, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Taiwan, and especially China, staked claims to its islands and reefs. Each country drew on its own history, maps, and memories, hoping to secure a share of the sea's riches and strategic advantages. The legacy of these overlapping claims has cast a long shadow, fueling disputes that persist to this day. China's sweeping 9-dash line covers nearly 90% of the sea, overlapping the economic zones of its neighbors. This ambiguous boundary, first sketched in the 1940s, has become a flashpoint as it disregards internationally recognized maritime borders and cuts deep into the exclusive economic zones of other coastal states. To enforce its claim, Beijing has built artificial islands, transforming reefs into military outposts, and deployed its Coast Guard and maritime militia, challenging other nations' vessels. These actions have escalated tensions, turning the sea into a stage for standoffs and brinkmanship. where even small incidents can spark international crises. For the Philippines, this has meant losing access to traditional fishing grounds like Scarborough Shoal and facing constant harassment. Generations of Filipino fishermen who once relied on these waters for their livelihoods now find themselves blocked, intimidated, and sometimes even chased away by larger, better-equipped Chinese ships. The impact is deeply personal, affecting families and entire communities. The promise of oil and gas remains out of reach, blocked by Chinese patrols. The seabed beneath the South China Sea is believed to hold vast reserves of energy, but efforts to explore and extract these resources are routinely thwarted, leaving the Philippines and other claimants unable to tap into this potential wealth. The conflict is not just about lines on a map, it's about daily survival and lost opportunity. For many coastal communities, the sea is life itself. When access is denied, it means empty nets, abandoned boats, and dreams put on hold. The human cost of this geopolitical struggle is often overlooked, but it is felt every day along the shorelines. The new Philippine map cuts through historical arguments, focusing on modern international law. By redrawing boundaries based on legal rights rather than old claims, the Philippines is making a bold statement that the future should be guided by rules, not by force or faded memories. It illustrates rights already granted under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, shifting the conversation from murky history to clear legal principles. This approach seeks to replace uncertainty and confrontation with clarity and dialogue, offering a path toward peaceful resolution. It's a move from power to rights, a shift from might makes right to right makes might. By grounding its claims in international law, the Philippines hopes to rally support from the global community and encourage a rules-based order in the region. And it changes the game. The stakes are high, but so is the hope that a new chapter can begin. One where justice, not just power, shapes the future of the South China Sea. The new Philippine map is revolutionary for its clarity and legal grounding. Unlike China's ambiguous 9-dash line, it uses exact coordinates to define the territorial sea and the 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. This EEZ is where the Philippines has exclusive rights to fish, drill, and manage resources. The map transforms legal jargon into a simple, powerful image. It signals a unified national strategy. Every agency, from diplomats to the Coast Guard, now operates from the same playbook. Naming the West Philippine Sea is an act of cognitive sovereignty, reshaping how the world sees these waters. The goal: make West Philippine Sea a standard term, asserting Filipino identity. The map is also a practical tool for law enforcement and resource management, guiding patrols and investors alike. By defining its maritime space with precision, the Philippines lays the groundwork for effective governance and sustainable development. It's not just a political statement, it's a blueprint for the future, and it's here to stay. The South China Sea dispute is more than just a territorial squabble, it's a clash of worldviews, pitting the authority of international law against the weight of historical claims. At stake are not only islands and waters, but the very rules that govern how nations interact and resolve their differences. The Philippines anchors its position in the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, often called the Constitution for the Oceans. This landmark treaty sets out clear rules for maritime entitlements, exclusive economic zones, and the rights of coastal states, providing a legal framework recognized by most of the world. In 2013, Manila took a bold step by challenging China at The Hague, seeking a peaceful, legal resolution. After years of deliberation, the International Tribunal ruled in 2016 that China's sweeping 9-dash line had no legal basis under UNCLOS, marking a historic moment for international maritime law. The ruling not only affirmed the Philippines' sovereign rights over its exclusive economic zone, but also condemned China's interference with Filipino fishermen and oil exploration. It was a clear message that international law must prevail over unilateral assertions. Yet, China flatly rejected the decision, insisting that its so-called historic rights, rooted in centuries-old maps and records, override modern treaties and legal processes. This stance has fueled ongoing tensions and raised questions about the enforceability of international law. This puts China at odds with the global legal consensus, isolating it diplomatically, and drawing criticism from many nations who see the rule of law as essential for peace and stability. The new Philippine map is the next step in this legal journey. It visualizes the arbitral victory for the world to see, making the Philippines' claims tangible and transparent, and inviting international scrutiny of China's actions. It's a non-violent, diplomatic implementation of the law, putting the onus squarely on China to justify its discredited claims. The Philippines is using legal tools, public diplomacy, and international support to press its case, rather than resorting to force. The dispute is now clear-cut. One country upholds international law and seeks peaceful resolution, while the other defies it, relying on power and historical narrative. The map draws a precise legal line against China's vague, shifting historical dashes, offering clarity where there was once ambiguity and contestation. It's a battle of lines, and of principles. The world is watching closely, as the outcome will shape not just the future of the South China Sea, but the credibility of international law itself. The new map has sparked a wave of national unity across the Philippines. For a country often divided, the West Philippine Sea is now a rallying point. Social media buzzes with pride, and the map is integrated into school curricula, embedding it in the national consciousness. It honors the struggles of Filipino fishermen, promising their plight is not forgotten. The map is a tool for building a modern, confident identity, one rooted in law, not colonial history. It shows the Philippines standing up for its rights on the world stage. This act of legal defiance has fostered profound pride. The map is a declaration of the Filipino people's sovereign will. China's response was swift and furious, condemning the map as a political provocation. Beijing warned the Philippines to correct its mistake and threatened consequences. Expect more Chinese ships shadowing Philippine vessels, aggressive maneuvers, and possible naval drills. China may use economic pressure, restricting imports or discouraging tourism, to punish Manila. The risk of miscalculation at sea is real, with more ships in close quarters. China's gray zone tactics test the Philippines' resolve. The new map draws a clear legal line. The world waits to see if China will cross it. The stakes for the Philippines are immense: sovereignty, resources, and national pride. The West Philippine Sea is vital to the nation's identity and future. Losing control would mean surrendering natural heritage and economic potential. The sea holds vast oil and gas reserves that could transform the economy. Its fisheries feed millions and support countless families. Filipino fishermen now face harassment and poverty as their traditional grounds are blocked. The new map is a promise that their rights and livelihoods matter. It's about reclaiming agency and respect on the world stage. The Philippines refuses to be a bystander in its own region. The map is a statement: the future belongs to those who defend it. Beneath the geopolitical struggle, an environmental crisis unfolds. China's island building has destroyed ancient coral reefs, devastating marine life. Sediment from dredging smothers nearby reefs, collapsing fish populations and threatening food security. The dispute fuels illegal fishing. Cyanide, dynamite, and giant clam poaching go unchecked. The focus on sovereignty distracts from urgent environmental protection. The sea has become a lawless frontier for ecological crimes. A rules-based order is needed for cooperative management and conservation. The Philippine map, grounded in UNCLOS, champions this vision. Only through law and cooperation can the region save its marine ecosystem. The future of the sea depends on it. The new Philippine map is a test for the global order. Will the world be governed by law or by the will of the powerful? The outcome will shape peace and stability far beyond Asia. The United States and its allies have a stake in upholding freedom of navigation and international law. The map aligns with the 2016 arbitral ruling, providing a lawful basis for support. Other Southeast Asian nations may follow the Philippines' lead, uniting around legal principles. ASEAN's response will be crucial, but internal divisions remain. This is a line in the water for the world. Will legal rulings be respected, or will might make right? The answer will define the future of the world's oceans, and the rules that govern us all.